I was approached by a married man and I am very confused and conflicted. What is your take on what he told me? I do some voluntary work at an ONG that helps animals in my country and, during one of our outdoors action, met a very handsome and charming man. We instantly clicked, from the moment we saw each other. We talked and he helped us with some heavy cages we had to carry, talked to me for about 20 minutes about the most random things possible, Sandman's Netflix adaptation, Stephen King, and a lot about cats. It just felt like we has met for a long time and I was really taken away. He was really kind, but didn't ask my number and we just went our separate ways. This happened over 1 year ago. Last week, I was having coffee with a friend on a Starbucks and I noticed him right there. I was dumbstruck, looking at him and hoping for him to notice me, which he did. He came to me, introduced himself, we exchanged contacts and went for a coffee the following day. Our whole conversation was just something out of a movie, that weird moment when you connect to someone. But I found it weird that he made no approaches. He didn't reach for me or anything and was very respectful of my space. At some point, he told the truth, he is married. I was devastated, but then he told me how his marriage was at its last legs and that he already told his wife we was unhappy, but he didn't want to cut things short. He was very respectful even when talking about his wife and did not say bad things about her, just that they grew apart. He said that didn't want to make any advances on me because he didn't think that was the right thing to do. He also told me he felt guilty for asking me out, but was afraid we would never see each other again. He did not ask me to wait for him or anything. He just said along these lines, "Look, I will probably be divorced until the end of the year. I really like you and I feel a connection. I'm not asking you to wait for me or anything. But, just to let you know, I will give you a call when my relationship is over. Even if it is for us to go out and chat again." I was sad, angry, and hopeful at the same time. The conversation we had in this recent encounter on the coffee shop was just amazing. We talked for hours about our hobbies, our dreams, our past. I found it very weird how he matches even too nicely with me. I am a 29-year-old woman and I feel like I'm attractive. I constantly have advances from men, I am fit, I have a good job. I've been going on date for some years and, for a long time, I hardly felt any connection. With this guy, he is the kind of person that makes me feel like a teenager. I am very mixed and I don't know what should I do. I'm willing to go on with my life, as he said, but I was so moved and touched by our interaction that I'm still dumbfounded. He is not making any advances now after our last meeting, he even said he wouldn't message me until his marriage was over. What is your take on his talk? Comment. Yeah, sure. While he was at it, maybe he should have handed you a card letting you know he was a talent scout for the movie you've convinced yourself you're starring in, instead of pulling out one of the oldest lines in the book. If he does come back with divorce papers, you can see where things stand if you insist, but I absolutely would not hold your breath waiting. Life isn't a romance novel. You have a strong initial attraction to him. Cool. He's not available. Bummer. What do you do? Live. If he's meant to be a part of your future, it'll happen in due time. But if you lose yourself in a fantasy, you might very well pass up on a future where you're very happy. I know most folks here are going to pile on you, but I suspect these kinds of stories happen more often than people care to admit. If his story is true, I don't think it's that much of a moral outrage for him to monkey branch to you, but it is certainly possible he's feeding you lines, or the story is only half true. The real situation may be way more complicated than he's presented, with children and other things that can give you the ick factor once they are discovered. It's up to you, of course, but just take into account you might be headed for a lot of drama if you pursue him, so just think it over if this is what you want or if you can handle the potential emotional swings and relationship turbulence. The oldest line in the book. Go live your life. If you run into him a year from now and he shows you the divorce decree, and he's done with his post-divorce rebound/hoe phase. Sure, maybe it might be worth pursuing. But I wouldn't hold my breath. Next story 2. My long-distance boyfriend of nearly 8 years and I are struggling to decide what's our next step. My boyfriend and I have been dating since high school. We went to different schools in a big city, which kinda made it into a semi-long distance relationship. We still saw each other 3 to 4 times a month. Then we went to uni together and we basically saw each other every day even though we did completely different degrees. He did engineering and I did microbiology. After I graduated, he still had a few years left of his degree and I got the opportunity to study postgrad at a different uni. I didn't want to do that degree because it meant moving away from my boyfriend, family, and friends during 2021, to a place I've never been to, and during a time where everyone were masked up and everything was online. I did take the opportunity though because they offered a bursary and I was going to work on my dream project under the supervision of 2 amazing scientists. Anyway, we did the long distance and he came to visit and vice versa. Eventually I graduated and tried to apply back to my previous uni so I can go back to my BF and fam. Unfortunately, after arranging about 5 meetings and being stood up by the head of department of said uni, I was unable to go back to that uni. But luckily I managed to get an amazing MSc project at my current uni, which I'm currently doing my final year in, and the funding was phenomenal. I decided that another 2 years of long distance will have to be the only option. Now I've received news that I got in for a PhD project on another amazing project. But this time I did not apply. My supervisors sorta just told me that they wrote my name on the funding applications and it got approved, so I have a project. Which means potentially another 3 to 4 years of long distance. And this time my boyfriend has graduated and he started his first year working as an engineer. He told me that he doesn't want to do max another 2 years of long distance. But I'm kinda stuck now because I've had no say in whether or not I wanted to do PhD at this uni or not. Which is fine, but now my BF wants us to figure out what's going to happen in our future. He's 13,000 kilometers away from me. And unfortunately, in the degree I'm doing at the moment, plant pathology, the better paying jobs require you to have at least 5 years research experience, i.e. PhD level experience. He wants me to talk to my friends about this issue and he's doing the same with his friends. But they're all biased. Previously we've spoken about both of us leaving to go to the Netherlands. But unfortunately that didn't work out, so then we planned that he does a year at his current job, then finds a job in my city for a bit while I finish my PhD, then both of us will find jobs in the Netherlands. But I recently found out he's not interested in that anymore. I feel like in our relationship we've each been very supportive to the other, and we've never stood in the way of the other person. But I feel like the solution is not too difficult. If I make a 4-year commitment to my PhD and he has a 1-year job contract, he should look for a job in my city so we can move in together. I've told him that I can drop my plans of doing the PhD, but then I won't have the 5 years research experience on my CV. Or I can try to hear from other unis closer to him if they have something for me, but at this time of the year all the PhD projects are likely gone. It's super competitive and most importantly the professors at other unis will most likely give PhDs to their own MSc students before giving it to someone from another uni. The other issue is, he's getting really good work experience at his current job, so I get why he doesn't want to leave either. Breaking up is not an option us. Are we missing something? Is there a solution here that we're not seeing? Is there even any solution? This is so tricky. Next story 3. My boyfriend is insecure and it's ruining my relationship. Me and my boyfriend have been together over a year now. Ever since we started dating, everything went well. Even after the honeymoon stage the relationship was going well and I was very happy. It was until the start of the summer I realized my boyfriend is very insecure and probably doesn't trust me. The thing is, he always asks me how can I be with someone so ugly/so mediocre, and that really hurts me because I love him and I always see him in the best light. Another thing is, in June we were out together and he told me I wish more girls would hit on me so I could tell them I have a girlfriend and it would make my ego higher, and it just felt so wrong when he said that. Like, why do you need some girls to hit on you while you're in a relationship? It just hurt me so much, and I just think about it constantly that he acted like he needs other girls' attention to, I don't know, feel better about himself. I am also moving away to another country for university. It's not far away though, we would be 1.5 hours away from each other, and I have no problem in keeping a long-distance relationship, especially when we can see each other every weekend. Because of that, during the summer he asked me many times to not cheat on him while I'm in uni, and I was always really shocked and sad. I would never cheat on anyone, I despise cheating, and I was also once cheated on, so I really know the feeling. I would never do that to anyone. I asked him why does he think that I would cheat and if he doesn't trust me, but he told me it's not you, it's other people I don't trust, which I think really just implies that he believes I would let someone take me away from him. I've tried to talk to him about it many times, and I've always explained myself and tried to tell him it hurts me, but he either just brushed it off or told me that he does trust me and asked me to not talk about it again. I am really helpless, and I don't know what I should do. Comment. It doesn't seem like the issue is simple. Your boyfriend needs therapy or an outlet for him to open up. She could try sending him open borders and a favorable trade deal. Could improve relationships. Therapist here. All things I would suggest / lead my client to. We can't control how other people feel or what they do, but we can definitely control how we react and behave. Yes, he's insecure. You kinda are letting it hurt you a lot. It's not about you. Being hurt won't help him be more secure.